to another week of Huddle Up here on Northwest Access TV. I'm your host, Paul. A lot going on in this last week or so through NBA free agency and baseball also picking up, and some news in the NFL as well. Some players not happy with a certain top 100. I'll defer over to my co-host, JT.
Morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I bet. So I guess we can kick things off with basketball, a little NBA.
Sure.
Not like there's anything going on. No big decisions, no changes in teams or anything like that.
No, just a legacy team is being built.
It's being created. It was already technically could have been considered a legacy team, and now they just added to it. Of course, talking about Golden State Warriors.
Well, let's almost forget here for a second about Kevin Durant. We'll eventually get there.
That's impossible.
Ray Allen is most likely going to join Golden State Warriors.
I can't tell you how excited I am that those talks are even happening, because I've always been a Ray Allen fan. Before Boston, I still liked Ray Allen.
I want to think of it like this. I want to see that one moment where you have Kevin Durant, you've got Klay Thompson, you've got Steph Curry, you've got Ray Allen, and then throw someone else in there.
You forgot about Draymond Green.
Yeah, but who do you cover? Who doesn't make that three-point shot?
Even Draymond Green can from time to time.
But
Just saying, like he can do it.
it's not even right.
I love it. I love every second of it. The fact that could be it. And I know there are a lot of people that they're upset with this decision.
They are, and I see it from both sides.
Well, let's get to that questioning then. Was this a cop out? I'll go with that. Should he not have?
The thing that makes it
Gone
feel
to a
like
team
the
like
most
this.
cop out is the fact that he only signed a 2-year contract with a 1-year opt out, which is really so much of saying, "I'm going. We're going to win next year. Otherwise, I'll do something different." So it feels like all he is doing is chasing a ring, not so much that he wants to play or he really wanted to change or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's more like, I'm here because I want a ring. I think we can do it together. And
I have no problem. And Bryce, thank you for joining us this morning, sporting the Orlando Magic jersey and everything.
In memoriam, Victor Oladipo.
I have no problem with this. I don't think I've ever had a problem with this. Even when LeBron James made the decision to go to Miami to join a bunch of All-Stars and win, I still didn't have a problem with it. I always have a problem with the way you do it.
yes.
Now, I think Durant did it the right way.
Yeah.
He didn't make a spectacle of himself. He said, I'm going to meet with the teams. I'm going to make a decision. I'll let you know soon. And I think he said, 48 hours, I'll let you know my decision. I think he did it the right way. There are a lot of people that were criticizing him about the way he did it, making it all about himself. I'm like, well, technically, he's the biggest free agent this year.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he? He doesn't even have to make it about himself. Just him making a decision, it makes it about himself.
Yeah.
I have no problem. Like I said, I have no problem with it. The Celtics did it back in 07, 08, and they won a championship with it. And Miami did it. They won a championship with it.
I think the biggest difference with Miami, though, and why everybody jumped on LeBron and not as much KD. I mean, people are jumping on KD, but not as much. Is just that Miami, they colluded a few years prior to figure out how to do this, and LeBron did a big national television special.
Well, it was like an event on top of an event on top of an event in Miami, where he makes that hour-long decision that was beneficial to the Boys and Girls Club of whatever, Cleveland or whatever it had to been. I don't remember what it was.
It was in Connecticut.
Was it Connecticut?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And then they had the whole WWF type of welcome celebration where we're not going to win
not
one,
not
two, not three. And I think that's why people hated the whole LeBron in Miami situation.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Warriors aren't really that kind of team. They're definitely a team that touts togetherness. They're not someone that's like, oh, it's all about me, it's all about you. So I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to come anywhere close to what they did in Miami.
No.
About look at us, we're your next big thing and everything. Because
that's not their style.
Right.
But the key the key for Kevin Durant going to Golden State, which I think you and I talked about, 6 months ago when this started, is they're a chemistry team. They have a good chemistry, which is why they played the way they did. That's why their stats were what they were, and that's why they won 73 games. How does Kevin Durant fit within that chemistry? Can he be okay not being, well, I mean, in their ball style, he probably will have the ball in his hands. He'll become the 7-foot point guard. But, I mean, he's going to have to change his style of play to mesh with a team. And how well is that going to work?
I know their level of play doesn't compare at all, but I keep looking at, like, Kevin Love. Kevin Love in Minnesota was the man. No one came close. His ball all the time, rebounds, points, everything. Similar to what we kind of see with KD. Granted, he has Westbrook, but similar to what we see for Thunder. Now he's going to a team where he's not number one. He's not the big man, but he's still got a ring. So is it worth? I mean, I feel like is it a no-brainer for him to go there and take a secondary role if he had to, second, third, whatever dairy role it is in Golden State, as long as he gets that ring?
It's an interesting
After all
question.
said and done, you're always going to hear that. You hear that from all-stars throughout all of history. Well, how many championships does he have? How many rings does he have? That's the only reason. If Tom Brady were as good as he was, but he's never won a championship, no one would care.
So I don't think Kevin Durant's production is necessarily going to be going to go down. I don't think Kevin Durant isn't necessarily the one that's going to be affected by this. I think Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are going to be the guys affected by this, which to some degree, I mean, that's part of why they signed Durant, to take the offensive load off of Curry, because you saw how he wore down in the finals. And so I think now they even have an easier time with their rotations because you can really have either Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant on the floor at all times.
Right.
And I think, I mean, that's
an all. I mean, that's an all-star team.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
This is I mean, you could actually have Golden State next year versus the
Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference All-Star team.
And I think that they would still kill them.
Yes. I mean, when you look at it, all of them, I mean, similar idea of going, or the Miami setup of all of their numbers are going to come down. The way Durant's style of play is going to change is that he will shoot a lot less than he used to. All of them will. But their main key is when Durant's driving to the basket, if you're not dunking it, you're kicking it.
Yeah.
And who do you guard? You have no options. And the same idea for Green. If you let Green control the ball, him drive, or Iguodala for that matter, and now you have Curry, Thompson, and KD on the outside to kick it to.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's going to lose it. I mean, you've got nothing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I expect a lot of assists. I expect a lot of passing. And the question will be, how do they all mesh? Their passing last year towards the end got sloppy and then just disappeared for like quarters at a time where they just stood there.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Durant will open that up enough because he is the only true person on that team that is a true one-on-one player, where he can drive in, he can Curry has a step back, and I mean, he sort of can drive, but he's too fragile and you don't want him driving anyway. Yeah. But KD can control that ball and do whatever he wants with it.
Now, this shows my ignorance real quick about how much I pay attention to the NBA. Does Durant help them on the defensive side?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay, so now they've improved from last year because that seemed to be almost a problem sometimes. When it's like they had no problem outscoring their opponents, but they couldn't limit them at the same time, right? So now you have someone that improves your defense and is going to greatly improve your offense at the same time. So are we looking at like this could be one of the greatest offensive teams in NBA history? Or is it a no-brainer already saying that now?
It depends on how they mesh. I mean, that's just the key. It depends on how well they all fit.
I'm talking about
within
like
their
the
roles.
field goal percentage alone with these players is ridiculous.
Yes, that
they don't miss. They miss, but not as often as you would think. So like, and Golden State is a very shot selective team. Granted, they show up threes all the time, but they pass a lot. They look for that right moment. if we're putting someone like Kevin Durant in there that is just used to just throwing it up there, are we going to see a different style from him? And then again, which will translate to more points.
Well, let's look at it because we're going to kind of overlook OKC for next year because they won't do anything.
Can't see right. I mean, Westbrook is about to see what he really had. I mean, no one's going to feel this more than him at this point.
Let's look at San Antonio, the matchups that they create within themselves on who's guarding who. Kawhi Leonard got stuck on Curry because you definitely didn't want what's little old
Danny
man?
Green?
No, little old man's name.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. You don't want Tony Parker guarding
Which
Curry.
old man on the Spurs?
Yeah, right.
Yes, I know.
Yes,
This is
all
true.
of them.
Greg Popovich.
So you have Kawhi Leonard on Curry, then you put Parker on Thompson. You can't do that anymore. Kawhi Leonard's now got to guard KD.
Yeah.
And now you're stuck leaving Tony Parker on Curry, and Curry will tear him
Who did the
apart.
Spurs just pick up? Didn't they just pick up someone too?
Pau
Pau
Gasol.
Gasol. Okay.
Which is another
I think
old
it's
man.
a good pickup for
It
us.
is.
Yeah.
He's another old man.
But you're going
Like
to
a
see.
shuffle.
Yeah, he's
Board
like
club.
almost right. He's been in the league 10-something years.
I think they're all just retiring.
Well, they
So,
left.
that's just
David West got out of his contract.
signed with Golden
He
State.
signed with Golden State.
Talk about ring chasing.
Yes. Pau Gasol comes over here. You're going to see less time for.
Which, by the way,
Oh,
is there
not
like
Tony
a
Parker.
more Spursy player than Pau Gasol?
No.
For the pickup, like
I love
it's
it.
like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I really
it's
like
just
that
about
there.
6 years too late for that.
Right.
Him and Aldridge ought to be an interesting duo down low to watch.
Yeah.
But San Antonio's definitely getting much better. Golden State's added to their bench, adding West, trying to add Allen. And Allen said it's between he might come back for Cleveland or he might come back for
Regardless,
Golden State.
he's picking a team that he can go to win a championship.
Yes.
And I think it's really win-win for him. Only because he goes to Golden State, he'll be that fifth, sixth guy that's just going to basically shoot threes the entire time.
Your job stand right there.
Right, which is what everyone else on the team already does by shooting threes. But if you go to Cleveland, you've already got that rapport with LeBron. So it's not a bad fit either to go there.
No.
And they need
Cleveland's an underrated
someone
three-point shooting
and they
team,
need
too.
someone more on that in that role
Yeah.
than obviously Golden State does.
They
I guess
do.
it depends on where you want to go. Where do you want to come out of retirement for? If I'm choosing, I'm probably not coming out of retirement to go to Cleveland.
And if-
I would want to go to, sunny California because he's probably already there. He's already probably retired there. So I mean,
Well, I look at it, I think the chemistry, although he's got the rapport with LeBron, I think the chemistry and the team setup of Golden State would suit him better because at the end of the day, 3/4 of the season, Cleveland was a crapshoot. I mean, it was drama all over the place. He's an old man. You don't want to be part of that. And that's not going to stop because you still have drama between LeBron and Kyrie.
Here's how I look about it in Golden State. Right this year, Golden State, everything went right.
Yes.
Everyone was happy and everyone was having a good time. We were winning. We got records. We did all these things. It's implausible to think it's going to continue next year at the rate that it did. Obviously, I think that's a pretty sure bet. They're not going to win 74 games next year.
I won't argue that.
They're not going to have the good times. It's not going to be the good times gang next year. I think it still kind of will be, but not at the success that it was this year. So we might see some drama this year. You don't know. I think Draymond Green's one game away from causing a lot of drama in that locker room. So
That's true.
now that he's going to have to share minutes with whatever, I know he's not the same position or anything, but like now that he's sharing more minutes with more All-Stars, I mean, you could get a player like him that kind of goes off the handlebar, and we could start to see, especially if earlier in the season, because a lot of the focus was on him towards the end of the season about the way he plays. If that comes back at the beginning of next season, that's going to drag out the entire year.
Here's the one big bonus for that. KD just made this a whole lot easier for Draymond Green. Because Draymond Green, you're not guarding LeBron. Kevin Durant will. So that high-pressure stress defense is now taken off your shoulders. You don't... I think for that standpoint, I think he might get a little bit better because that pressure of having to guard the number one is going to be gone. I mean, you will from time to time off switches and stuff, but you're not going to be the main person on LeBron or the main person on KD. You're covered now.
And that's the thing about their defense in general, that Golden State loves to switch on screens a lot. And so for the opposing team running their offense, they're not going to have as many options for players to get their star player to switch onto to be able to get an open shot. Because, like, in their starting four, Draymond Green, who's a killer defender, KD, who I think now that some of the offensive load will be off of him, can actually put more effort on defense. And when he flips that switch on defense, he's actually an incredible defender and could be a top 5 defender, I think, if he really turns it on and concentrates on it. Klay Thompson, who's a great defender, and Steph Curry, who led the league in steals this year. So I mean, they're starting defensive unit, and Andre Iguodala when he comes in off the bench. I mean, their offense is going to get a huge pick-me-up with so many options, but even their defense, with how they switch on screens, I mean, there's just not going to be a lot of open space for opposing teams to get open shots.
The only catch you saw all season long with Golden State was, and I mean, LeBron was the last one, so you kept seeing LeBron getting switched over on Curry, and everyone talked about how bad Curry's defense was. He's guarding LeBron. He's 3 times the size of him. What do you
Everybody
expect
looks
him
like
to
a bad
do?
defender when they're guarding
LeBron James, right.
What do you want the kid to do, man? He's 5 times his size. And Curry's kind of that only catch point just because he's fragile and he's weak in comparison to the switch that he's getting put into. You keep switching him with a strong power forward or shooting or small forward that just overpower you, which at the end of the day, you can't do much. I mean, he still does well in steals on them because he picks the ball off, but you call him a bad defender. He's never guarding a point guard, ever.
And LeBron is just a beast. I mean, who is physically built like LeBron?
No.
And that quick, too. It's unbelievable.
You think about, Steph Curry as a defender in that last game to lose the series, the game-winning shot, you played defense perfectly. I mean, you couldn't have done anything
Curry just hit an incredible shot.
Right.
He hit a shot.
Right.
He curried Curry.
Yeah.
Easily, especially with the step. It was the dribble and step back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Curry. I think we said that earlier. So I want to get back to the possibility of Ray Allen coming back. Is there a smarter athlete, retired or active, that we've seen in recent memory than Ray Allen? Because this is a guy that decided to go to Boston because he saw good things are coming together. Then he decides to go to Miami because he sees good things that wins. I mean, I think he's won 2 rings. Now he has a decision saying, it wouldn't be the worst thing, and I'm in pretty good shape. I could come back and go to 2 contenders. It's not like he's going to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He's going to 2 teams that will compete next year.
And I think Jordan coming back to Washington was a pretty great idea.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, I mean,
absolutely.
I think that was just one of the smartest,
perfect.
underrated decisions.
That
in
franchise
NBA history.
booted right up.
It's great. They're still feeling the effects.
I mean, it's not in comparison to when Jordan came back the first time after playing baseball, but it's kind of like that same sense. You know what? I can still play a lot, and I'm gonna, I can be a role player. Granted, Jordan was the exception. No, dude, you're still in your prime. Go back and play basketball. Stop swinging the bat. But for someone like Ray Allen, I think it's super smart for him because he has now the chance to collect a 3rd ring. I think he only has 2. But
And I think Golden State's the best fit for him.
that's the thing. He won't have to play a lot. That's the thing.
No.
He'll literally play, 10 to 12 minutes in the first 3 quarters, and then he might be able to play the whole 4th quarter if he wants to.
Well, I think
And all he's
about
doing
him
is adding
being-
to his 3-point total. So, I mean, which is really funny because you're the young gun in front of you that you're playing with is the one that's, looking off to the future. I'm coming for you.
When's Reggie Miller coming back?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's
back,
fine on the mic. He can jump right on. Like an old timers 3-point
it's gonna be
contest.
great.
That'd be great.
Well, yeah, you have your young buck starting 5, and then we'll have our retired comeback bench. It could be fun. I think for Ray, he would be inserted kind of as that precision timing player.
Well, that's what he's been almost his whole career, no?
Well, not so much coming in as
Coming off the screen in the corner?
sixth person, but you come in
No, I don't think
We're
he would be
not
considered a
scoring.
sixth man in any way, but I think he'll put up the points of a sixth man.
No, I
He'd
agree.
be like an 8th or 9th man.
Right.
But he'll be a
Hey, Ray, you want to play? Yeah.
Oh, he will. Absolutely.
You're not scoring the ball. You need someone out there. Ray will come in. We're behind. You're trying to stretch the floor. Ray will come in.
Yep.
I mean, your minutes might be scattered here and there, but he will be inserted for a precision purpose, not so much to be
No,
a bench
I don't
player.
think he's a bench player. No, I think you're right. I think it's almost like in baseball, you have like your certain pitchers that come in at certain times. That's
You're
what I
here to
see
hit
as Ray
to-
Allen. Like, you're here to hit that 3 in the corner when we need you to.
Oh,
And
yeah.
What better person?
Yeah.
In history of the game would I want shooting a 3 for me? It's Ray Allen.
Well, let's think, just for the sake of how humorous it would be, if he was not as old as he was, and he was a starting
You
player
say
on
old
this
as he
team.
was. He's 41. Now I know that seems forever, and that's like old man age, crutches out type of thing for basketball players. But I've seen video of him lately. He looks in good shape. He doesn't
I'm
look
sure
bad
he
at
is.
all.
I'm sure
he never
and
stopped
because of
working
the way
out.
his game is, I mean, he could shoot threes till he was 60 if he wanted to.
Yes.
It's,
But imagine this
he probably will.
as him as a starter, okay? So between Curry and Thompson, they own the league completely in threes. Okay, now if we have Ray Allen as a starter, do you think we could get 3 people leading the league in one team?
in one team, right? You might with Ray Allen anyway, because you got to remember the whole fourth quarter, Curry doesn't play, so Ray Allen goes in there and just shoots 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
I think he's just adding to his career total.
Did you see the Facebook video of?
Oh, and if he goes to Golden State, that means that's less threes for Curry to shoot. So I just decided Ray Allen's going to Golden State because that's what he's doing. He's adding his total up and he's taking threes away from the guy that's trying to chase him eventually in his career. So
Hot takes by
there you
Paul.
go. There you go. That's
There
what
you
it
go.
is. He's going to Golden State because that's his mindset. Like, no. That's the same thing. Eric Dickerson would have played too for the Vikings if he didn't want Adrian Peterson to break his record. But, he's a little older than Ray Allen is compared to Golden.
That's why
Curry.
Peyton Manning went to the Broncos. He was too scared of Tim Tebow
Right.
getting his records.
Man, I wish Tim Tebow would come back, man. I want that so bad. I might be the only
Play
person
for the
that-
Warriors.
I don't care. Yeah, he can play for the Warriors. Why not? Post up, down low. He'd probably push everyone out of the way.
JT is just
So they
like,
needed a
what is
prayer.
going
They
on
needed a
here?
prayer anyway during the playoffs. So
Yeah, they do.
So I know I'm completely serious when I say that. I love Tim Tebow. He's one of my favorite players that never got really his. He got plenty of moments, plenty of chances, but not a time to actually show what he can do.
I just want to make mention really quick. Denver, Mark Sanchez sucks. Tim Tebow, bring him back.
If you're comparing
Please.
the two, I can't wait to watch the Broncos this year because one, right now they don't have their best player with Von Miller because he's in contract disputes.
Yeah.
And your quarterback of record right now is Mark Sanchez.
But fumble.
And I know everyone says like you can't look at the bum fumble. Yes, you can look at the bum fumble. Because that is
amazing.
Bill Buckner for the Red Sox, what do you think of? The 1986 World? You got the ball through the legs. Listen, players have things attached to them forever and ever. Mark Sanchez will be known for the butt fumble in what is my greatest Thanksgiving ever that I've ever had. Family surrounded, full belly, and a rout of the Jets by the Patriots. I love every second
Never
of it.
pressed rewind on DVR
So
much.
many times.
than the
And it's
butt
not like we
fumble.
even had to because they showed it about, 40, 50 times?
That's amazing.
He'll be in the.
You know who scored the touchdown? Remember who scored the touchdown? Who picked it up and ran it in?
Wilford?
No. Stephen Gregory. And just useless trivia.
Oh, all right. Good to know.
Thanks, Paul.
No problem.
I think
Wilford hit the guy that caused that, but that's not the point.
he will be an NFL legend because of that.
Yeah.
Not because of the way he plays. He absolutely sucks. Now, minus I do think he could do okay in Denver, but regardless, he's butt fumble. I'd rather see
I
Tebow
think
on
the only
field.
reason he'll do better in Denver than where he has been before is because that defense is so much better. That's I think that attributes to how well he did in New York, as granted it wasn't the greatest statistics, but they had a decent defense during his time with the Jets. I think you'll see that with Denver here.
Yeah.
By the way, this is one of the most New England sports moments we've had on this show.
Talking about
that
Tim
we
Tebow.
can just easily move from Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors into talking about the butt fumble.
Yes,
That's just like such a New England sports move for us.
I think you could do that with any sport, honestly.
It's true.
You guys see the Olympics this day? Yeah, it was crazy. Butt fumble. I'd like to transition just a little bit into football while we can. We're halfway through the show, and we can go back to basketball later because I want to talk about Dwayne Wade as well, moving to Chicago, back home. But I want to get into the NFL's top 100. I don't know if you guys saw the NFL top 100.
No, I haven't seen it.
Number 10 on the list was Odell Beckham. This is NFL's the players vote. The players are voting basically. So in other words, it's just a popularity contest. It's just who is the best player in the NFL. The players vote, and then everyone else just bitches and moans.
So this is like high school student council
It's
voting,
exactly
but for the
like
NFL.
superlatives. Yes.
Okay,
Everyone's voting like best whatever, best. But now it's a top 100. At 10 was Odell Beckham, and he threw some shade on Twitter, basically saying like, "Listen," he said, "10, huh? Watch out." Being like, "Okay, next year I'm going to step it up." I think he shouldn't be too concerned with that because, again, it's a popularity contest. Some of the names on there, I was kind of like, oh, okay, sure. Just to run them down real quick, from 9 to 1, Gronkowski, Julio Jones, Luke Kuechly, Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, Antonio Brown, J.J. Watt, Tom Brady, and Cam Newton. Regardless of, I get it's really hard. I even have Boston Brawler thing on my shirt. There's no way, in my opinion, and please.
Cam Newton is better than Tom Brady.
No, he's not. At all. A better athlete, I can almost give you the edge on that one. And I could probably give you the edge without really thinking about it. But a better football player, not even close.
No.
Not even close.
He's younger, and he might have a little less drama following him at this very moment.
As mature as Brady has been throughout this entire process shows that he should be up there number one. And I don't even think he should be up number one. I just think Newton shouldn't be number one.
No.
Honestly, I would put someone like the athlete that J.J. Watt is, I would be fine with him as number one.
I would
Aaron
too.
Rodgers, I would be fine with number one.
But
Cam Newton,
Luke
I just don't
Kuechly,
see it. I don't
same
see the
idea.
maturity in Cam Newton to be able to be that player.
Well, clearly not after the
number
Super
one.
Bowl and he had his little
Hissy
meltdown
fit,
hissy
yeah.
fit. I mean, you're not that player. You won a lot of games because you have a good defense,
Absolutely.
and not so much because of your
Wait, I thought we were
quarterback
talking about
skills.
Cam Newton, not Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My bad. My bad.
they both have
It's just
whatever.
defense carries. Hey,
So Tom Brady, in the past, his first couple of rings were won because
defense.
of defense.
Yeah.
The last couple have been because of his arm.
Yeah.
Solely because of his arm. His throwing.
In the brain.
His throwing
every-
power. His
Decision making. Decision making is
is
put above his
perfect.
power.
When you look at Cam Newton, he's a way better athlete. We can give you that to you every day of the week.
Right. Yeah, he's going to
But
outrun, he's going to outthrow,
Your decision making is nowhere even remotely close.
So I think when it comes to Odell and it comes to myself as well, it's like, it's a popularity contest. I'm not going to worry about it.
Well,
but
Odell, you had so much crap go on last year. You really underproduced most of the year.
right. He makes that one highlight a year, and it's like, oh, greatest player of all time. No, not even close. He shouldn't be in a top 10 with these guys.
Let's look at this for a second. How many? Well, here, let's just start here. Name one wide receiver that you think is better than Odell.
He's retired. Calvin Johnson, hands down. Hands down. But I'm saying a retired guy, I think, is better than Odell because he's bigger, he's smarter. I think he's quicker too, if I'm not mistaken.
He's just nasty
When
he's healthy.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's had crap quarterbacks thrown to him.
We have another sports show here on Northwest Access TV that was debating, saying that Odell Beckham was the most dynamic player since Muhammad Ali. And I think I've told you this before, in sports. And I went, are you kidding me? I don't even have to get into the other sports.
No Michael Jordan?
I don't even have to get into the other sports. I just went, Larry Fitzgerald. I could watch him catch balls all day. Calvin Johnson, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the NFL.
Huge.
Because when he gets out there, he is a man amongst boys. It's ridiculous. The plays that he's made the last, let's say, 5 years, glued to my TV. I've never turned a Detroit game on for fun in my whole life. But when he plays, I am glued to that TV. I want to see every time he's on offense.
And imagine if he had
Even
a
if he only has
quarterback
2
throwing
catches.
to him.
Right, he didn't, I mean, I've had him on fantasy on my team probably for years. He doesn't put up a lot of receptions, but the receptions he puts up are for big yards. It's because of how dominant he can be.
And he can
He
jump
needs someone to
30
throw to
feet
him.
in the air.
Right.
All you got to do is get it like in the atmosphere
Okay,
around
so we
him.
play football on Sundays, right?
Yes.
It's the same deal when Kareem comes and plays with us. All I have to do is throw it in the air. I don't because I keep forgetting, but all I have to do is throw it in the air because he's already like, what, 6'3", something like that?
Oh, he's 6'7".
No, he's not. He's
he is.
6'7". He's a lot taller than I am. I got cleats on, so it makes it look like I'm higher.
No.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. He's that much bigger against everybody else. It's not even close. So that's what I'm saying about Odell. He should be, I think more people should be mad that he's even in the top 10.
Oh, I agree. Thinking about players that are way better than him, I look at Aaron Rodgers. I think he should be a little bit higher. I think he should be higher than Cam Newton.
Rodgers is at 6.
I love J.J. Watt being in there. I think he is by far number 1, and I would put Luke Kuechly as number 2. Those two defensive players do more throughout a game.
They do more for the team, right?
Any other
than some
player
other offensive
in the
player.
league.
Right.
And a lot of players combined. And when you look at players like Adrian Peterson, he carries a team. You can't argue it. He needs to score more touchdowns.
But that's a lot to do with the offensive scheme as well. Now they actually have a quarterback that throws.
So then let's look at other people. How is Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown, the man who owns every team, not higher rated than him. He is smaller.
Than Odell?
Yeah.
He is.
Oh, he is?
He's at 4.
Oh, okay, good.
He's the highest ranked offensive weapon, you could say. And I think that's hands down. The Julio Jones one gets me a little bit, but I think he's more of a stat collector. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No.
Because Matt Ryan is a very heavy throwing offense. Granted, they still had Freeman this year. They're very heavy throwing.
Julio Jones, I would rate better than Beckham.
I think just on stats alone, I would. Beckham is he's a highlight reel. I'm not gonna question that. But when it comes to production, I mean, he might be like my 3rd, 4th, 5th choice as like who I really want out there on the team.
He makes great catches, but those great catches aren't really with defenders on him.
Right. It's when he's in open space. He maybe has a defender.
Bad throw,
right.
and
he's making something out of nothing. When it comes right to him, it's kind of like the Terrell Owens situation where he would make these catches, you'd be like, damn. And then he'd be in open field and it would be just dropped and be like, damn. It's the same, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where the talent comes from.
Now let me ask you this, because
Or where it's generated
at this
from.
very moment, I kind of question it within myself of, yes, I hate the New York Giants, and I really don't care for Odell solely because
I'm not really putting in
of
the hate of New York Giants, though, into my decision-making.
No, but
if he played anywhere else, I think I would feel the same way because of his attitude towards the game. And I think maybe that's what's
But I
clouding
think
his
he'd be
that-
so much
that's-
better if
that's
he
my
wasn't
point.
on the Giants. If he was somewhere else.
I think if
that
he had another quarterback that was throwing to him, I mean, that...
Like, if he was on the Patriots, I think he'd be unbelievable. Because he would actually have a smart quarterback.
Well, I think that comes into it. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, but Eli's got 2 rings. I'm like, okay, I know earlier in the show I said how many rings do you got, but with Eli, it wasn't really Eli's. Those...
And they weren't actually good teams.
No, they weren't.
They just got hot at the right time.
How many times have you thrown more interceptions than touchdowns?
Oh, my goodness.
So,
Right.
I just think that because of the drama that he entailed or put himself in
Sure.
last year, I think I'd take a lot of credit away from him and say,
And I can't wait. We get two times this year. He has to face up against Norman again. Norman's
I just
now with
can't rate
Washington.
you
With
that
Washington,
good
I love
because
it.
of what that did to you.
Right. It's
How-
only going to get worse this year.
Oh, absolutely.
In
and I
a
think there's just-
media-centered sport, big time, it's only going to get worse because they're going to analyze every single little thing he does on that field.
Yeah, I just think there's too many active players that are better than you.
Sure.
Jordy Nelson, he's better. He's not athletic,
Right.
not
And he was
as
hurt.
athletic, but he is better than you. And you think about it in every sport. You talk about, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? No, he's not. He's more athletic. Is he the next Michael Jordan? No. Is Kobe the next Michael Jordan? No. They're different
Don't get me
players.
wrong. If LeBron James strings off like 3 championships, say they go 1, 2, 3, which is I think is highly unlikely with what Golden State is now putting together. But if they were to do that, then I could maybe start having that conversation.
Yeah.
But right now, that's where it comes down to. I'm always reminded of this movie. I can't remember what it. Bad Teacher. Did you ever see Bad Teacher with Jason Segel?
Yes.
Where he's fighting with a little kid. He's like 6 years old, and he's like Jordan. He's got 6 rings. He goes, why do you always go back to the Jordan conversation? He goes, he's got rings. That's why LeBron will never be Jordan, because he's got rings. And that's what I see right now. He's got 3 now.
Yes.
So string off a few more, and we got to keep remembering he's so young. He's very young for a 3-time champion, because was Jordan in the league for 10 years?
More than that.
More than that, right? Before he got his first?
Cody got him the quickest.
You said Kobe got it the quickest? Yeah. So, I mean, I think people always like LeBron James, they always go right to Jordan. I think you can't forget about someone like Kobe Bryant. Five. And I think
Yeah.
which is weird because you're talking about a franchise player.
Championships.
Well, I don't want to.
As a Magic fan.
As a Magic fan, I
Bring
just
up
want to throw
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal in there. I don't want to discredit Kobe Bryant because of his people around him, because then we have to do the same thing for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wouldn't have won 6 championships without the help that he had. He would have been like the LeBron James in Cleveland, where everyone's on his back and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, but Michael
they're
Jordan
going to get there,
still-
but they're not going to go anywhere.
Was still the number 1 option on all 6. Kobe's first 3, Shaq was the number 1 option. Kobe was number 2. Those last 2, Kobe was the number 1 option.
I would argue Kobe not being the number 1 option. They were such a duo where they scored. I mean, they scored 3/4 of their points for the entire team between the two of them,
Yeah.
and it was their relationship was struggled because they both wanted the ball more. But if Shaq was open, it was a kick down to Shaq down low. If Kobe was open, it was let him own everyone in the league.
But that's what I'm getting.
Those
I don't want to
3 years-
discredit Kobe. 5 rings is 5 rings.
Right.
I mean,
And in LeBron's case, though, I think
and then those Lakers wouldn't have had it without
Yeah.
him anyway. So
But I think in LeBron's case, that 1 championship in Cleveland is worth a couple championships elsewhere, because Cleveland has just not been able to get over that hump
right.
in so long, and the city as a whole hadn't won a championship in 54 years.
I mean, you're talking what? They were down 3-1 in the finals,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that was pretty much as Cleveland as you could get.
Yeah,
And
and
they
then
were still able to
LeBron
come back
went
and-
otherworldly.
Yeah. What do you have, back-to-back 40-point games, something like that? And then close to another one?
Who cares? I hate LeBron. Let's move on to baseball.
We'll talk baseball. We got the All-Star game coming up for baseball. Actually, we'll talk a little bit of, real quick, John Jones, I'm sure you've
Yeah.
heard by now, on Saturday, he's been booted out of the UFC
Yeah.
for drug-related charges. Is this a problem for the Arizona Cardinals? Think about the connection. Is John Jones a problem for the Arizona Cardinals? And the reason I say that is because they have now Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, the brother of John Jones. Chandler Jones has been disciplined by the Patriots and has been caught using recreational drugs, things like that, and had been in trouble for it. Is him going to a team where they don't have the Patriots way, is that going to be a problem for Arizona? Because now he's kind of going to be free to do what he wants, and maybe he kind of goes the same road as his brother?
It depends. Depends on his
That's what I'm
maturity
asking.
level.
Yeah.
You always have the risk of it. I mean, I will definitely say there is no team better than the Patriots as far as maintaining your staff to cooperate the right way. But I think the head coach of Arizona, what's his face?
Bruce Arians.
I think he is a strong enough coach to be able to handle it.
And I'm not saying that Chandler Jones has a problem. I'm just saying it seems like that family obviously has a history. John Jones definitely has a history, and Chandler Jones has a minor history, but going to a place where it's not strictly, like everyone talks about the Patriots way. It's just you shut up, you play, and you move on. So if going to another team, we've seen other players leave the Patriots and become more outspoken people. So could we see that with Chandler Jones? And if that's the case, could they be in trouble? Could it lead him down a road? I don't know.
You always run the risk, but I think there's enough leadership within that team. I mean, when you have players like Larry Fitz and Carson Palmer, these are old-time vets. These are strong players, strong-willed, that speak their mind, that aren't afraid of it. And I think Bruce Arians, like I said, is a strong enough coach and confident enough coach to be able to handle anything. It's definitely a different ballgame than it would be in New England. But I think they could maintain it. But at the end of the day, it depends on the player. It depends on his state of mind and what he wants to do with his life. So it's not all about the team that he's on.
I think it's a stretch for a conspiracy theory, but part of me thinks that this was something that Bill Belichick had thought of, like, in recent time, to trade away someone like Chandler Jones, maybe because of family. I don't know, because he's made those decisions before about players that have had somewhat of a history, or they go to another team and now they are in trouble all the time. Yeah. It's like he knows this ahead of, like he can see it ahead of time. He can see where problems could arise. As good as Chandler Jones was for the Patriots, an all-around crazy athlete, but to send him off away for peanuts.
It's not surprising because, I mean, that is what Bill Belichick does.
He's a precog. That's
yeah.
Oh yeah, like Minority Report.
Yeah, right.
That's a biopic about Bill Belichick.
The remake or the original? All right, so we get into baseball. I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was something. I was just trying to throw it out there. All-Star Game is on Tuesday. Home Run Derby on Monday. Not a lot of big names in the Home Run Derby, in my opinion.
Did the pitcher get in?
No. So Madison Bumgarner's not playing. But here's what I wanted to throw out there, is that there are 3 pitchers right now in the major leagues that have 2 home runs. I think that's it, in the entire league. So you have Jake Arrieta for the Chicago Cubs, Madison Bumgarner for San Francisco, and then Noah Syndergaard for the Mets. Each one of them has 2 home runs this season. Bumgarner has 13 in his career, and Bumgarner hasn't played. I think he's played for like 6-7 years. Syndergaard has 3 home runs in his career, but that's only over a season and a half. I really wish that they would have. And they might even do this anyway. All these guys are going to the All-Star Game. So it might be interesting to see if, like, behind closed doors type of thing, they just do it on their own. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think that it would have been better for the Home Run Derby because right now you have players that are hitting home runs right now, separate from, I'm going to forget his name, John Carlos Stanton, whatever his name is. I mean, that guy hits a home run like 470 feet every single time he gets up. So that'll be the most dynamic player. But David Ortiz isn't doing it this year, which I'm really shocked about, being his last season. You would think that he'd go out and do something fun. But it kind of goes back to when we were talking about the All-Star Game for NBA, why Kobe didn't do any of the fun stuff. I thought he would have. I thought Kobe would have been like, last season, going to go out there, have some fun, going to do the three-point contest, the dunk contest, everything. Because he can. He's that kind of player that can do everything. For me, I'm really disappointed that David Ortiz isn't doing the Home Run Derby in what could be almost, at this point, one of his greatest seasons that he's ever put together. I don't know. Thoughts? To give context, he's batting .337, 20 home runs, and 69 RBIs, and he's in top 5, and top 3 in those categories. And he's not doing.
This is going to be the best year of his life if it continues. It very well could be.
On average, yes. On home runs and RBIs, no. He did have a 54 season home run season.
And then he had like a 118.
Like no, more than that for RBIs.
Yeah.
More than that. He that year he crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. But this is, I can't remember what year that was.
He's capable of doing it again.
I think he can. Well, this is the thing about a retired DH, not a retired baseball player, but a retired DH. Your job is to hit the ball. So if you're the DH of a team and you know this is your last season, you're just swinging for the fences, and that's what he's doing right now.
Well, sort of, kind of. He is placing the ball right now better than he ever has.
He's seen that strike zone better than he ever has. I completely agree with you. But at the same point, I feel like every at bat he has that one swing that he's just launching it, and if he gets lucky on contact, sure. Not every player does it. There are players that get up there. They're trying to place it. I need to go to right field with this ball. I need to do that. I need to squeak it up the middle. I need to start to do that. With David Ortiz, I feel like it's last season, don't care.
But I think there's a lot of players that go out and have at least that one swing where they're like, I'm going to rock it.
If I get lucky, I'm going to rock it.
I mean, you think of Prince Fielder, you think of what's his face out in Washington Nationals, Bryce Harper. You think of
I think Bryce Harper's not really. I mean, yes, he hits home runs occasionally, but I don't look at him as like that power guy. I think he's almost an exception to the rule because that ball comes off his bat so hard every single time. It doesn't matter if it's a home run or not. That ball is just on a launch pad.
And he has the best name.
Bryce Harper. Yeah, there you go.
Bryce. I mean,
It's Harper. It's a good name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Bryce is
Love
kind of
Harper.
doofy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Sucks.
think there's a lot of people that have that one swing where they're just like, all right, I see the ball, I like the ball.
I think,
and
I
I'm
think
gonna rock
it's
it.
almost enhanced, obviously enhanced with David Ortiz this year because it's last one,
Yeah.
and he's actually. We were talking about this earlier, saying like, is he really going to retire? Like he's doing so well, he's got 12 home runs, a bunch of RBIs, and he wasn't really coming out and saying, yes, I'm leaving, I'm done. Now he's saying it. When he's talking about the All-Star game, like it's my last one. I'm trying to go out with a bang. I'm going to look forward to it. Blah blah blah. I mean, I'm disappointed that he's not playing and all things. I think he'll definitely be part of it. He'll be there cheering on everybody, jumping up and everything the entire time because that's what he's done every year. He's gone.
The home run derby does surprise me solely because that is an event that he has won several times, right?
A couple times, I think.
I think
Twice.
Yeah. So for me, that surprises me a little bit. But I mean, like we talked about it, same idea of Kobe is, you're old, you're retiring.
But it's not like we're asking that much of you. Same thing with Kobe during the All-Star game. All they did was feed him the rock. I mean, it's the same.
And he refused to shoot the damn thing.
Right. He passed it almost the entire
Difference
time.
is that Ortiz in his last year is actually having a good season.
I guess,
and
yeah.
Kobe-
on a team that needs to do a little
And
better.
Kobe's last
Right.
season.
Right. That was definitely
Bad.
gone. There was nothing that was gonna.
It was a
Nothing
little
could have
rough.
worked right for the
A
Lakers.
little rough.
The Red Sox are there. I mean, the Red Sox have 4 or 5 players that are over 300, and another 2 that are like on the cusp there. So they're a very well hitting team, and that's to the success. Right now they're in 3rd place in the AL East, and it's only because of pitching, which is funny considering they're sending a starting pitcher to the All-Star game.
Which is a joke.
It's nuts that their team, what was the stat I read? They're 2-18 when a game is decided by 1 or 2 runs or something like that. That just means that's pitching. That's all it is. Their fielding percentage actually is pretty good, but their pitching's just been horrendous. They can't seem to find that connection with anybody.
No.
And that's minor leaguers, that's starters, that's whatever free agent
Clay
happens to be
Buchholz.
out there. He needs to go.
Somebody.
Don't swear. I know I see it on your face. He needs to go. He's needed to go for years.
Shoot him. Make him retire. I don't care. Somebody punch him in the arm and make it fall off.
Punch him in the arm, make it fall off. It's such a toddler thing to say. I'm gonna punch you in the arm.
He is so bad. So bad.
Yeah. I mean, now he's going back to his 2nd stint in the bullpen. I think it's just a matter of time to, Clay, time to go out to pasture. You know.
It's so bad.
I think it's long overdue. It's been years long overdue, and I've been saying that. I have friends that say like, "Hey, Buchholz is looking pretty good." I'm like, "Not tomorrow. Wait till the next start. I
Yeah,
don't care what
he
he's
has
doing
that one
against one of the
game.
worst batting teams in the AL. I want to see what he's doing in September when it comes down to crunch time." And it's just really bad.
But what is
And
Boston
I'll,
going to
and
do?
I'll eat my words every time. Even if he goes out in September and goes 4-0 with a 2 ERA, he's still terrible.
Yeah.
It's
still don't
not
want you.
there.
I-
The head game's not there, and I don't want you on the team if you can't do that. Go to somewhere that doesn't care. Go to Minnesota. You have success there. It's fine. There's no cameras on you, and no one cares.
Yeah. And what's going on with Price?
David Price. Here's David. This is kind of like that whole veteran big contract thing. He's already proven himself in the league. So then a team decides we're going to give him a bunch of money because he's going to continue this success for years and years to come. No, he's not. That's never been any
Anybody
veteran.
say Aaron Gagne?
Yeah, right. Was it Aaron or Eric?
Eric.
Eric Gagne.
Eric
Yeah,
Gagne.
where he hits the most saves, consecutive saves, and then the Red Sox say, "Oh, we can get him." Good. It's the is it Al Davis? Am I going to say the wrong name for Oakland? The old Oakland Raiders
Owner.
Is it
Yeah.
Al Davis? That's pretty much him. That's what it was. It was, that veteran's really good. We should get him. Let's pay him a lot of money. And then he doesn't perform. It's Richard Seymour for Oakland.
Yeah.
It's that kind of grab. I'm not saying that he's on the same wavelength as like a Richard Seymour was for the Raiders, but Price is up there. We've already seen the best he can do. There were years and years that watching him against the Rays against the Red Sox, where I'm like, I can't believe we have to face Price again. I can't stand this guy. That was years ago. He's not the same guy anymore. He's already a journeyman he played for 2 teams last year, and now he plays for his 4th team in 2 years this year with Boston. If he's not, why didn't he work out in those other teams? There's something there. Yeah. So to throw a bunch of money at him, and you're not really seeing the production you should be seeing. Sometimes he gets lucky, but it's such a roller coaster.
Well, we've also seen the mechanics of his pitching that is different, that is causing a lot of this, which he still has yet to
fix. And the Red Sox have signed on another pitching coach, another assistant pitching coach. So I'm curious to see how that might play out. There seems to be a lot of problem. Obviously, there's a lot of problems with their pitching staff between Eduardo Rodriguez was supposed to be like the next up-and-coming pitcher for the Red Sox, and a problem with mechanics and tipping of pitches has just crash-coursed his career, his early career. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed. And the problem is they don't have the arms. You going into the season, you thought you were going to have Clay Buchholz and you were going to have Eduardo Rodriguez as your 4 and 5 or your 3 and 4, and they're not there. So now you go down to your 3 pitchers, which Stephen Wright was supposed to be your 5th guy, and he was supposed to be like, okay. Porcello, you didn't know what you were going to get out of because he hasn't shown it either. And David Price, you thought was going to be the number 1. You can almost flip that. Porcello's been consistent. Stephen Wright's been your number 1, and David Price has been your number 3. Like, he's okay.
Yeah.
It all has to change. They need to find pitching. Their hitting's fine, but that's where you get into the problem of trading. Now, do we have to trade away our great hitting for pitching?
And
do you want to make that? Can you out offense your team, your opponent? That's what I look at. It's very similar to the 2007 Patriots. And I'm not trying to put them on the same pedestal, but in the same sense, can you out offense your opponent? That's what the Patriots did. They got the offense. Their defense was pretty but they went out there. They focused solely on offense. So can a team do that? I feel like that was my first thought with Golden State. Are they trying to out offense everybody? Because that's, again, my ignorance of not knowing how well of a defensive team they can be with Kevin Durant. But that's still my first thought is I feel like they're just going to try and outscore everyone. And it's not even going to come close.
No.
Because you have so many All-Stars on that team that can get hot at any moment.
No, see, that's what the Rockets are trying to do by hiring Mike D'Antoni to be their coach with James Harden as your point guard. Just going to try to out offense everybody.
And where
Got speed.
did Dwight Howard go? Atlanta?
Atlanta.
There you go.
He went back home.
Worthless.
Still a bitter Magic fan.
Yeah, right?
He hasn't been good since he left the Magic.
That's true. That's what makes my bitter heart happy.
I mean, at least Shaq left the Magic and still played well.
He's won rings.
That still hurts, man.
It still
hurts.
I'm halfway through that Magic
It should have been
moment.
Penny's rings. Shaq and Penny's rings.
I'm halfway through the 30 for 30, that Magic moment.
Ah, dude,
I love it.
I just rewatched it the other night.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
We got 5 minutes here on Huddle Up. If you want to call in, 802-527-6449.
We're also on Periscope.
Yeah, we have one
tune in
viewer.
On Periscope.
Thanks for watching.
We can answer some of your questions on here as well.
Real quick, let's go to Dwayne Wade. Best decision he could have made, worst decision he could have made.
All right, so we want to talk about bad decisions here. This bothers me in a standpoint of Miami has been good. They weren't that far off of Cleveland. It's the only team you've played for. You have rings.
Rings. 3.
Why would you leave your home? To me, people are, Steven, whatever the heck his last name is, talked about how KD going to Golden State is the most pathetic move you've ever seen from a player. And I say there is no reason for you
I don't
to
think it's on the
leave.
same caliber. No, I don't agree with you. I don't think it's on the same caliber at all. I think Dwayne Wade going there is. Here's where the difference maker is. It's his hometown. He's from Chicago. So I have no problem with that. It's very similar to, and now it's changed a lot. Paul Pierce, he went to the Clippers, went back home. That's where he's from. So I have no problem with him doing that. Granted, he didn't have a say in going to the Nets anyway to start, but he went back home. I don't really ever have a problem when a player wants to go home.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
and the thing is, like, Chicago is nowhere close to a championship.
Not now.
So he's not
Right.
ring chasing.
Well, Chicago's a new team completely.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
are
that's
there
the thing.
any starters still on that team?
I mean, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy
and
Butler.
That's about it. But that's the thing. They were.
But is Jimmy Butler and
Tom
Dwayne Wade, is
Thibodeau-
that a bad thing? I mean, that
No,
sounds
I
pretty
think
good.
it's going
That
to be
sounds
good.
pretty good to
Jimmy
me.
Butler's got to be the number one option. But I mean, with the Bulls, it was still a team built for Tom Thibodeau without Tom Thibodeau as their coach, and so it just wasn't going to work out for Fred Hoiberg until they actually built a new team for him. Which that's what they're doing. For Wade, I mean, this definitely isn't ring chasing because I don't think they're close to a
for 2 years,
championship.
right?
It's for 2 years. I think 50 million.
million.
He was looking for that Kobe legacy contract from the Heat, and they weren't going to give it to
Never
him.
gave it to him, right.
And I think this
And it
this
seemed-
puts a huge chink in the armor of Pat Riley. And I mean, a guy who has been known for getting the players he wants and being able to work things out to build good teams. This is kind of the first blow that, like, major blow that he's had in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Miami's done now.
Oh, they are.
have to be.
They are.
Right.
Gone. See you
I
later.
mean, Hassan Whiteside is now their
Star. And he's
number one
not that
option,
good.
depending on how Chris Bosh is doing. But they're still. I mean, they've taken a huge step back.
Oh yeah.
Which
well,
is
Chris
great
Bosh,
news for the Celtics.
Chris Bosh
It
is
is.
nowhere close to being able to play basketball.
Yeah, and we don't know if he's ever going to play again.
No. So, and the chances are most likely he's not
Right,
he's not
right.
going to. So
Which is understandable because he's got to put his health first. Like he has some.
so
Right,
let's
there's
get
very
nothing-
health
yeah, I'm not
concerns
saying
going
like
on.
no, you need to get back out there. It's like
Oh,
no,
no.
you might die from
Right.
from actually playing basketball again.
the East Coast is now defined by Cleveland, Boston.
Toronto.
So it's it,
I know, I do too. It's one of those teams I'm like, I don't
And
wanna
of
put them
course,
out.
I think
the
it's a
Magic.
two-team race.
Magic, stop. Like the
Serge
Disney.
Ibaka and Bismack Biyombo. That's right.
Woo! No, it's a two-team race for the East,
Yeah.
and that's it. No other team has done anything to really better themselves. I mean, you have teams that have changed players: the Knicks, the 76ers.
Yeah, let's not forget about the Knicks,
Buffalo.
by the way. I know we only have one. We have less than a minute on here, but the Knicks. If you're trying to chase
so
chase
good.
rings,
So good.
That's the team because they're just like, let's just grab every All-Star we can. I don't even care if they're healthy or not. Let's just grab
This
them.
team
and
would
just-
have been so good
Like-
from 2010 to
right.
2012.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, 5 years
It would've
ago,
been
this
so
would have been
good.
like the best team.
It was like
ever.
5 years too late.
I'm Paul. He's JT. He's Bryce. We're on Huddle Up. We're here most Thursdays at 10 a.m. You can join us live, and you can call in at 802-527-6449.
When we don't oversleep.
Well, yeah, when no one oversleeps or gets caught on a bridge. Until next week, hopefully. We'll see you then.
R.I.P. Victor Oladipo.